Hey, it's Kyle here, and today I'll be reviewing the second season of The Mandalorian. I know a lot of big Star Wars fans on YouTube have already shared their opinions of the second season. Initially, I was going to film one very quick, and I'm like, I think I want to take a couple of days and kind of think about the events of the season, especially the last episode, not rush into anything, and then kind of post a video a few days later. So that's what I did. So first off, I'll say I absolutely love the second season of Mandalorian. I actually thought it topped season one, which going in I thought was going to be very, very hard. I thought season one was absolutely amazing. I was afraid, like a lot of shows, that so much time is put into season one that you don't have as much time to kind of work on season two. So a lot of times shows experience a drop off on that second season. And I was very, very happy to see that wasn't the case. Like I said, in my opinion, season two topped it. The main reason why was I felt in season one there were a couple episodes. There weren't any episodes I hated in season one, but there were a couple episodes I just kind of thought were just okay. To me, there were no episodes that were just okay in season two. Like the weakest episodes, in my opinion, were still good or very good. So I kind of helped elevate it. And then there were more just absolutely mind-blowing episodes, some of the best episodes I've ever seen in TV, period. There were a few of those in season two. I really enjoyed the world building in season two. They were able to expand on stuff like that, so they kind of built on it. So that's an advantage season two had, that they had to start from scratch. Like season one, they were able to take what season one had introduced and kind of build on it. So I really enjoy that. All the new characters, stuff like that. I'll get in that a little bit more detail. But first, I wanted to kind of touch on my episode breakdown, and I actually wrote the list down so I would actually overlook one in my excitement of talking about the episodes. I'm not going to do an episode by episode breakdown, but instead I'm going to give you I broke them down to three categories: good, great, and awesome / the best. There were two episodes I put in the good category, and that was The Passenger and The Believer. Like I said, those episodes, I still really enjoyed them. I was like, those were my least favorite of the season. If you had me probably rank my least favorite, it's probably The Passenger, just because The Passenger felt like the most standalone episode of the entire season, and all the other episodes I felt like did a lot more with the world building and kind of advancing the wider plot, where The Passenger, I think you could actually take The Passenger out of that episode, and the only thing you would have lost in regard to the wider storyline was the communication with the Mandalorian and the New Republic X-Wing pilots. But you could easily have crammed that 30-second conversation into another episode. The other aspects of The Passenger I felt like didn't really tie into the rest of the season. So that's why it was my least favorite. I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good episode. But that's why I ranked it below us. Next category is the great episodes. I put two episodes in this category, and that was the Marshal and the Siege. The Siege, this one was primarily the Siege. I actually had a hard time deciding if I wanted to put it in the good or the great category. I just barely put it in the the great one, mainly because of the fight scene, kind of, I guess you say the escape scene would be a better way to phrase it. That action sequence was absolutely amazing. I think that kind of elevated it from good to great. And the Marshal was borderline on the other category, great to awesome. I felt like, and I can't really put my finger on it, but I think there just need to be something a little extra in that first episode for me to put it in that awesome category, especially compared with the other episodes I put in the awesome category. The one thing I'll say, and one reason I'm very, I guess, lean towards almost putting the Marshal in the awesome category, is Timothy Olyphant is one of my favorite actors. If you had me rank, like, here's, here 5 actors you wish you would see more and stuff, Timothy Olyphant would be in there. I definitely would hope to see that character more in the future. Almost more because Timothy Olyphant versus how much interest I actually have in the character. I love him as an actor, so I was really excited to see him become a part of the Mandalorian. So hopefully we will get to see more of him in the future. My favorite episode's the one I would rank in the awesome category, awesome or best, however you want to phrase it. It's the heiress, the Jedi, the tragedy, and the rescue. I think, honestly, I've tried to decide. I can't honestly pick a favorite episode. It really come down to my favorites. It's probably, I would probably say the Jedi or the tragedy, with the heiress being very close. But I thought about it and thought about it, and I just couldn't pick a favorite. So you'll just have to settle for me having 4 episodes I thought was awesome, and my co-favorites being the Jedi and the tragedy. Some other aspects I really loved in season 2. The introduction of new characters was amazing, especially from the wider Star Wars universe. So, Timothy Olyphant's character was kind of a minor book character. Of the new characters that had a tie to the wider Star Wars universe, that was the one that was like, oh, that's cool, but it wasn't like I've been dying to see that character on the big screen. The characters I was most excited about was Bo-Katan, and just that Mandalorian faction. Was very excited to see that. Really, the exploration of Mandalorian culture in general, I really, really loved. Bringing in another character that's introduced, Boba Fett. So you can see the different aspects of Mandalorian culture really, really, really appealed to me. If you missed the news I posted earlier on the year on this channel, I was actually a part of a panel at DragonCon in 2020. It's a virtual panel. Obviously, the con didn't happen in person. But the entire focus of the panel was exploring Mandalorian culture and how it connects or relates to human societies from our history. What we thought the first season of The Mandalorian, what it meant for Mandalorian culture, and what we thought the wider Mandalorian culture might be like that's explored in the rest of the show. So obviously being a part of that panel, that kind of tells you that type of stuff really, really interests me. And I'm kind of honestly proud of our panel. The panel members did an amazing job. I would rank myself towards the bottom of that one because there are a lot more experts specifically on The Mandalorian than I was on that panel. But the panel, a lot of our predictions on how we felt the show's depiction of the first season of Mandalorian culture, how it tied in with the wider Mandalorian culture in Star Wars, turned out to be very, very accurate. I don't think we really honestly made any predictions that were very off. Probably the only thing that we were, that you can say like, oh, our opinion ended up being opposite of how it was pictured in the show was Boba Fett actually being a Mandalorian, with him revealing that he was or his father Jango was a foundling, and he had a connection to the wider Mandalorian thing, where before in Star Wars they weren't really viewed as part of Mandalorian culture. So we kind of decided he probably isn't, but now he is, and it's by no means a bad thing in my opinion. But anyway, so Bo-Katan and Boba Fett being introduced to the show, absolutely amazing. I'm super excited by the tease at the end of season 2 where you have the Book of Boba Fett. That's going to be awesome. Really looking forward to that. I'm hoping to see a lot more of Bo-Katan and wider Mandalorian politics and power struggles in the future of The Mandalorian. In fact, if I had to make a prediction of what season 3 is going to be like, I think it'll be heavily focused around the struggle for Mandalore to become Mandalorian ruled. And that's the one thing at the moment. We don't even know, like, is there anybody attempting to rule Mandalore now? Is it X-Empire? Is it somebody else that's a Mandalorian but a different faction? It'll be interesting to see. I think that's, if you ask me what season 3 is going to be about, that will be my prediction for season 3. Could be completely wrong, but that's my prediction. Obviously, I was insanely excited to see Ahsoka on the show. Absolutely amazing. They nailed that character so well, and just the little bit she's in season 2, it was amazing. Even something like my sister, who's a big Star Wars fan but has never seen any of the animated stuff, she's heard of Ahsoka but she's never seen before. She was absolutely blown away by the character. So I think it was amazing to see the reaction of people that know Ahsoka from the cartoons, who actually loved the depiction, and then people that weren't familiar with Ahsoka, like, oh, this person's awesome. I want to see more of this person. They absolutely nailed it. And then the tease at the end of the episode with the Jedi, where the name Grand Admiral Thrawn was mentioned, it's probably my favorite moment from the entire show, because if you're a fan of this channel, you know Grand Admiral Thrawn is my favorite Star Wars character of all time. Of course, for a long time he was only a book character, and then he got some screen time in the animated series Rebels. Love that. So just the tease of him, the small chance that there might be a live action Thrawn, just makes me so excited. And I know I said I thought season 3 would be more focused on the Mandalorian struggle to recapture Mandalore, and just the political factions fighting for control, what it really means to be a Mandalorian. Even with that being said, I hope Thrawn's involved in some ways, and it could be Thrawn's more involved in the Ahsoka show that's going to be involved. But the more Thrawn, the better. The sooner I get Thrawn in my life, the better. So that was a very exciting moment. And I already touched on it when I touched on Bo-Katan. Obviously, the introduction of Boba Fett on the show was absolutely amazing. Love that as well. And he also had stuff like the Dark Troopers and some like cool little Imperial technology and stuff like that. But Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and the mentioned Grand Admiral Thrawn were the ones that excited me the most. Other aspects of the Mandalorian I really enjoyed. Much like season 1, I thought the world building was amazing in regard to the various planets they visited. Especially really enjoyed the planet they visited for the Jedi episode and the tragedy episode. The Jedi one a little bit more, because obviously you got a little bit more interaction with actually a city, where the tragedy was this kind of a natural setting with some, I guess you could say, Jedi ruins. But the various planets they visited was really cool. I would say also like the first planet they visited on the first episode of season 2, where you have the fight going on. That was a really cool thing. I would actually love to go back to that planet and get more details on that one, because that seemed like a really cool place. That seemed like the type of place that if you're going to run into like Lando, that might be where Lando's at. So that'd be really cool. In regard to any complaints about season 2, very little. I would say that probably the only thing I wasn't super fond of was the reveal of Luke Skywalker at the end of season 2. And it wasn't because Luke was involved. I'm just not a huge fan of the de-aging technology. I prefer a younger actor to portray a character in a case like that. But I know that's a very just personal opinion. My sister, who I mentioned earlier, is a big Star Wars fan. She's the exact opposite. She doesn't really like when you have actors come in and replace somebody just because of age and stuff. She would actually prefer the de-aging technology. To her, that keeps it more in the storyline and keeps her in the world better, versus the shock of seeing somebody else play the character would kind of take her out of the storyline. For me, it's the exact opposite. I would just rather have seen like a younger actor portraying Luke there. Maybe even have Mark Hamill still do the voice, but just have another actor doing it if you really wanted Mark Hamill still involved. But I don't think that's necessary. I think just a younger actor playing it, because I'm just not, that de-aging technology, I think it's still just not quite there yet. Maybe in a few years it might be better. But like I said, that was only my huge complaint. There weren't any really like storyline aspects. It's like I really wish they dropped this plot point throughout the show. I really didn't like that. Maybe the only thing I would have liked to see that wasn't mentioned was I would love to have seen the armorer from season 1 appear in season 2, just because there was so much conflict in regard to the Mando of what it means to be a Mandalorian, as you're exposed to different Mandalorian viewpoints for Bo-Katan and Boba Fett. It'd been nice, it found some way maybe to get the armor in there to kind of even give them a little bit more, but that might have been a lot to fit into season 8. And I'm not even sure episode were like, oh, this would have been a good point for him to reconnect with the armorer. So that may be something that happens in season 3 if they do focus more on that Mandalorian culture and like what it means to be Mandalorian. I hope at some point the armorer does come back. But overall, that's my opinions on season 2 of The Mandalorian. It was absolutely amazing. Loved it. Some of the best TV I've seen in a long time. Mind-blowingly good. Nothing but positive things to say. So in the comment section below, just let me know, what did you think of season 2, what you liked, what you didn't like, any theories you have for the future of the show. I'd be interested in hearing in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.